We are back live, ladies and gentlemen, going back to Gerald Celente here in just a moment. I want to remind you we have some of the best deals on books, videos, Patriot apparel that is a great way to meet like-minded people out there. Available at Infowars.com. And your purchase of the books and videos also makes this radio/TV show possible. I want to thank all of you for your support. We have some deals running for just a few weeks more, the holiday specials from Christmas, where you can get Fall of the Republic and a free Don't Tread on Me or Obama Joker t-shirt. Have some other variants of those shirts up there on the site. You can still get 5 months free. We always do this in the month of December when signing up at prisonplanet.tv, where you can also watch the live/TV show, 15 cents a day, or get 5 months free right now at prisonplanet.tv. Also, some of the sponsors that make this radio show possible are the great folks at Ecuador Central. Ecuador Central believes we all have a duty to protect our families and our wealth. If you're considering a new life somewhere else or want a second home outside the U.S., or if you want an interest in a growing economy, EcuadorCentral.com can help you. Ecuador is a country with friendly people, good food, and great weather all year round, where you can live better for a lot less. Visit them at EcuadorCentral.com, spelled EcuadorCentral.com. At EcuadorCentral.com, you will find properties for sale or for rent, as well as free information that will help you get started now. So check out www.EcuadorCentral.com. That's spelled ECUADOR Central.com. Okay, going back to Gerald Celente of the TrendsResearch.com, the Trends Research Institute, and we are going over a bunch of different issues with him. He was talking about, and again, I got to hand it to Gerald. I remember him saying about 6 months ago, look at Europe perhaps breaking up. It's going to be so bad, and our government's going to have peaceful revolution, and it's over for them. And then, by 2012, and then I started seeing mainstream news articles. I saw one last week saying Greece and others may go under, may bring down the European Union. My issue is the European Union wants them deep in debt, wants them under those controls. So I think they'll just refinance the deals with them. But continuing, Gerald Celente, with what you see happening on the economy, then domestically here.
As the economy goes down, we're going to start seeing, of course, nothing goes straight down or up or down. But we're still very bullish on gold prices. We believe gold 2,000. What's happened is that as Greece and Eastern Europe has been going under, and of course Sweden, Austria, the rest have been financing it, what they're doing is people are bailing out of the euro and then going into the dollar. Well, that's like jumping out of one sinking ship and then jumping into the other sinking ship. So temporarily, we're going to have it look as though the dollar's rebounding. But this is very important in putting all the pieces together. With a high probability of when terror strikes in 2010, go back to what they did in 2001. They closed down Wall Street. If you had certificates of deposit like I did and tried to get them out of the bank like I did, they wouldn't give them to me because Wall Street was closed and they said CDs of financial instruments traded on the street. Now, what they will do this time, because the economy is in much worse shape than back then, we believe they'll call a bank holiday. They'll close the banks. That also means that when they reopen, there's a very good probability that your money will be devalued. As you well know, Alex, what they did when FDR closed the banks, repatriated the gold, they had gold was they made them sell it back to the government at $20, $67 an ounce, and then they repegged it, what was it, $35 an ounce. So you lost 40% of your value. Your money was devalued. That's the kind of thing we fear now. A financial crisis is looming. Terrorism is in the wings. When it happens, they will close down the financial system. ATMs will close down. You will only be able to get a certain amount of money back, like they did in Argentina and other failing countries. And when you get your money back, it'll be worth a fraction of what it used to be worth. That's what we're concerned about.
And again, Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, just to back you up, he said a month and a half ago when gold was at an all-time high of $1,200 plus, he said Look for the carry trade that's been reversed. Before it went to Asia, now it goes to America. Look for that to unwind in the new year, in December into January, and for a few months, the dollar's going to go up. Then it's going to dive down again, and that is coming to pass. Is that basically what you're saying, Gerald?
That's precisely it. And again, it's just a short-time readjustment. But the fact of the matter is, and this is the point, none of the currencies are worth the paper they're printed on. The European central banks have been flooding the marketplace with cheap money, and now they're starting to repatriate it. Here's the way the deal works. A commercial bank goes to the central bank, and they put up collateralized debt. And then the central banks loan them money on the collateral that they gave them. The collateral isn't worth anything. It's junk. It's toxic assets. It's Dubai value. So now, when they start repatriating, there's nothing there to repatriate in terms of unwinding their positions. So the big collapse will happen, we believe, around springtime. It happened again with the dot-com crash around the same time. We're looking for around the same time of unwinding this spring. It can happen earlier because there are wild cards that no one can see. And the wild card to keep watching is going to be Terra. Terra is back in style. Look for the orange alerts, the yellow alerts. Look for every kind of makeup alert that they can make up. And Napolitano will be out there, Homeland Security, saying that the situation is under control. I can't believe they came up with such an unbelievable character.
That's right. And we also have all these different governments saying 300 suicide bombers on planes, thousands of white al-Qaeda. The militias have linked up with al-Qaeda. Now, that clearly is staged, and we got the MIAC and Homeland Security reports that stated the real Homeland Security system is set up for veterans, gun owners, patriots, the American people revolting against Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan that have been robbing us. Can you speak to that, to them trying to use the terror card against the American people, and to what you see on the revolt end that you've said you've seen coming up in 2012?
We see the revolt really gaining steam because there's not going to be any recovery. Unemployment numbers are terrible, and we know they're fudging the numbers. And this isn't made up, by the way. Just look at the facts. The third quarter GDP reports, 2009, it came in 3.5%. The stock market was, jubilant. They just rose and kept going higher. Well, then they readjusted. Well, it wasn't 3.5. It was 2.8. All right. Then they readjusted it once, down to 2.2. As you well know, they're cooking the unemployment numbers as well. The real unemployment rate with long-term unemployed, discouraged, part-time, we're looking at 20%. When winter sets in, remember, you're going to start seeing a big increase in unemployment as the temporary jobs that were created during the holidays start to disappear. And then look behind the numbers of what kind of jobs are being created. Hey, you want a job in home health care? How about a personal home health aide? There's a job for $8.20 an hour waiting for you. Want to stock shelves at Walmart's? You have that 4-year college degree. Let's put it to use.
Well, they already reported this is the worst Christmas sales since 1979.
Well, again, this is what we're looking at. The jobs that are being created, even when they're pumping the numbers up, the jobs aren't worth anything. So we're going to, and then, oh, by the way, this is another big one. All these kids with college degrees that their parents said that it could be anything they wanted to be, they have nothing. They're going nowhere. It's a dead end. So now you're putting all this together. You're seeing the beginning of the Second American Revolution. It's underway. It happened with the Tea Parties, the tax protests, the 4th of July demonstrations, the town hall meeting revolts, the people going to march on Washington against big government. Of course, it's being hijacked by different elements out there, but nonetheless, it's still moving forward. So as we're looking at the economy going down, we're looking at the revolution going up, and then we're looking at terrorism. The government knows they're losing control. When they lose control, they tighten the screws. And that's what we're going to see. The screws are going to be tightened in the name of terror.
But how does that play out? I mean, reading your trends forecaster, which I really respect, you're believing it's not going to work. It'll take a few years, but by them showing their hand, that this is the beginning of the end of this group of corporate criminals?